I'm Tammy Speidel, a play facilitator and the owner of Mud Pies and Manners Play School, a family child care in Tampa, Florida. I believe in play. In my program, the children lead their play. I'm simply here to help facilitate. I don't direct it. And they play all day. So this is what play looks like. What about the mess, you say? I'm not worried about it. These materials still are a part of the play that they're involved with, and I don't want to do anything to interrupt that. But what about cleanup, you ask? Well, there will become a time when we will have to put the materials away.
So me and you can come.
Clean up time. Clean up here is relaxed and is as relaxed and stress-free as play is.
With me.
And I've learned a few strategies that have helped me get it to that point, to be relaxed and stress-free. So I'd like to share some of those with you. Applying the principles of play to clean up. I have broken down the process of applying the principles of play to cleanup into 3 components. Reset how we think and feel about cleanup, translate play principles into cleanup, and transform cleanup into play. Component number 1, doing a reset. Cleanup used to be frustrating and stressful for me because of my expectations. Cleanup becomes stress-free when we let go of expectations and feelings that do not align with play principles. Cleanup is my responsibility, not the children's. Cleanup is an extension of setting up the environment for play. It simply takes place after play, so materials will be ready for the next play session. Cleanup is a time for children to pursue their ideas, the same as play, even if that means they walk away from cleanup. Component number 2, translating play principles into cleanup. When I refer to play principles, I'm talking about play that is self-directed by the child. Let's take a minute to review these elements and translate cleanup into self-directed play. Self-directed play is freely chosen. It's not directed by an adult, and it's where the child follows their curiosity and interests. Translating cleanup to this principle, children choose to clean up. It is always voluntary and never mandatory. Self-directed play is just that. Children choose how they will play and how they will use the materials. Translating cleanup means children choose how they will clean up. Self-directed play is intrinsically motivated, where children choose why they play, creating their own meaning in their play. Translating cleanup with this principle allows children to determine their own meaning in their participation in cleanup. Self-directed play supports a child's own goal in their play. Translating cleanup with this principle supports the child in determining if cleanup meets their goals. This definition of play from Anji Play has helped me transform the cleanup in my program into a task that supports children throughout the day. Cleanup that supports play allows the child to choose to participate. It doesn't interrupt their current play ideas. It provides opportunities for engagement, and it creates joy. In order for us to effectively turn cleanup into a child-led activity which promotes development and removes the stress which so often accompanies cleanup, we need to change our role in the process of cleanup. Now, let's look at the 3rd component, transforming cleanup into play. I'm so excited to share with you all how this magic works. Self-determined cleanup is cleanup that a child chooses and determines how and why to do it. Leilani in the chair had been playing with these blocks, and when they no longer held her interest, she left them. I invited her to put the blocks back into the box. She chose not to, and I accepted her choice. In comes Natalie. "I'll do it," she exclaimed. She enjoyed the challenge of the activity. The blocks were put away, and cleanup was accomplished. No one was stressed out. Allowing a child to find meaning in cleanup transforms work into play. Moments earlier, these materials were being used by Everly and Natalie. When they no longer had an interest in them, they left the area. Now I have a decision to make. Do I call the girls back and invite them to put the materials away? Do I leave them out in case they may return and revisit this play? Do I put the materials away? I was contemplating my decision when I heard the girls in the building area and went to investigate. And this is what I found: deep engagement with the magnet tiles. Rich conversations were flowing. Collaboration of ideas. This play scheme was valuable, full of so much meaning. I was not going to interrupt their play, so I returned to the materials on the carpet and put them away myself, ready for the next time they would be needed for play. It took about 3 minutes of my time, and as I did, I chatted with some children who were playing near me. Meaningful exchanges and cleanup was completed. Then I went to see how the girls' building play was evolving. Wow, look what they did! If I had interrupted this project and told them to go clean up the toys that they had left out, this magnificent tower would never have been. This is why it is so important not to interrupt children's play with small cleanups and to just do it ourselves. Now, many of you may be uncomfortable with the concept of cleaning up for children. You may be thinking, the children should clean up. It's their responsibility. Making them do it helps us teach them to be responsible. As a play facilitator, my role is to support play as it happens. When cleaning up for the children facilitates their play, then it becomes my responsibility to do so. Look at her pride and joy. Because I accepted my role as play supporter and put away the other materials, Natalie pursued her idea to the end. Magic. Here's another example of not interrupting a child's play. These art materials needed to be put away since I have young toddlers in my program. When I looked for Natalie to invite her to put away her art things, I observed her engaged in doll play with Isla. This was meaningful. With just a few motions and in less than 10 seconds, I had all the art materials placed back on the shelf, ready for the next time they would be needed, and the girls continued in their play engagement. No stress, and the cleanup was done. Cleanup can be overwhelming for children. Often they avoid the challenge because of the difficulty. As adults, when we see a group of materials like these, we see the many types of materials there are. But young children see one group, one object. They are not yet skilled enough to process object discrimination. We have the opportunity to make cleanup less difficult and in the process create a challenge that the children will want to engage in. Here's an example of inviting children into cleanup by using an engagement that simplifies the process of object discrimination. As you can see, there are many different types of materials needing to be put away. This can actually be a distraction for children. I simplified the process by simply scooping the materials into baskets. This took little effort and less than a minute of my time. Then I invited the children to choose a basket and put away what was in it. They loved this engagement and enthusiastically began. Do you notice Roland isn't participating? And that's okay. Remember, just like in play, cleanup is voluntary. His interest wasn't in having a basket. He was intent on watching the action take place. And in less than 5 minutes, we're done. All the materials are put away, and no stress. It's like magic. Remember these? Simplifying the cleanup process with these materials is a bit more complicated and will require much more of my involvement to engage the children. My role is to gather like items together for the children to return to the bins and storage drawers. Again, the children's participation is voluntary. Any of these 3 play learners could have left the cleanup and I would have accepted their choice. But with the groupings being formed, they heartily joined in. Of course, I am right there on the floor with them. It's such an encouragement when grown-ups participate in cleanup. Conversations took place among us as we worked. Having clear open bins helps make cleanup simple for these hard workers. Of course, they don't think it's work. They just think of it as doing something meaningful.
And boom, done. And the magic? There was no stress involved. This whole cleanup engagement took all four of us maybe 5 minutes. Easy peasy. And the kids are happy and self-satisfied. Oh, and that magnet tile structure? Natalie asked if she could save it to play with later. Yes, you can. When children find their own meaning in cleanup, it's relaxed and stress-free. In play, children process ideas and information. Cleanup can have the same potential. I love this scenario with Max and the tumbling mat. Max, who loves the tumbling mat, asked me one morning, Miss Tammy, can we do the tumbling mat? Yes, I responded, then explained. The carpet needs to be cleared so we can put it out. Max replied, but I didn't make this mess. Yes, I know. And I didn't use these toys. Yes, I know. Max was thinking. Max was processing. I interjected, the toys need to be picked up before I can put the tumbling mat on the floor. I didn't ask him to clean up. I didn't invite him to clean up. I simply explained what was needed for him to reach his goal, and he got it. With exuberance, he announced to his friends, hey guys, we can do the tumbling mat. And all the kids joined in to make that happen. Cleanup done. No stress. And it wasn't even his own play materials he put away. Max was simply focused on his end goal and did what he could to make his goal happen. In these two stories, the children gladly did the cleanup. It had meaning for them. But what do we do when the kids say no? What if Max processed that he would have to do the work of putting these materials away and it didn't hold enough meaning for him to do it? He would have said, no, we don't want to put the toys away. Hey guys, let's go build. This happens frequently with young children, and that's okay. As a play facilitator, my role is to prepare the environment for the next play, no matter how often it's up to me to clean up. There are only two reasons to clean up in my program. One is to clean up materials so they are ready for the next playtime, and the other is cleanup as a transition to the next daily routine, such as outdoor play, mealtime, or napping. We've explored how cleanup occurs during playtime. Now let's consider how to implement play principle cleanup for these necessary transitions into other activities. Children always want something to do. We've looked at how to make cleanup a manageable and meaningful engagement for the kids. But when children choose not to participate and we are getting it done, do not make them wait. Waiting with nothing to do often results in a bit of chaos and most likely with even more materials being brought out to play with. So instead, give them something to do. Offer them other activities to choose from that do not require any materials. Reading or just simply socializing are choices my kids frequently make when they choose not to clean up, and I'm okay with that. When I see the meaningful engagement they have, I love doing the cleanup myself. It makes me feel like my effort is giving them these meaningful moments. This is also a great opportunity for big body play. I put on a movement song and they move around as I am nearby, putting the materials away. In 10 minutes I'm done and they have had a joyful time getting their wiggles out. No stress. It's really magical. We know how important setting up our environment is to inspire play. The final thing I want to mention is how the environment can support cleanup, making it relaxed and stress-free. Use easy access clear bins. I like drawers because they open and close for material retrieval and the container doesn't take up any space on the floor or work surfaces. And open-topped bins allow children to easily toss material back in. Use big open bins for large groups of materials, such as blocks and Legos and other building materials. The goal is to make cleanup fast and simple for the kids. It really does promote great engagement. Another strategy that makes cleanup stress-free is to rotate materials. In my program, I rotate the unit blocks, Legos, and magnet tiles, simply because my space isn't adequately large enough for all three types of materials to be used at once. Use broad categories. If you want to engage children in the cleanup process, do not micro-organize the materials. Putting blocks away on a shelf where each shape is outlined is tedious. I've done that before, and guess what? It stressed me out. Mostly, it made me not want to clean up the blocks. Children will learn all they need to about the properties of your materials as they play with them. Cleanup is not the appropriate time to check if your children know their concepts by requiring the magnet tiles be sorted by color, or the play food be sorted by food group, or the pets be sorted by dogs or cats. They will figure all that out when they are playing. This is the one principle that cleanup and play do not share. It's essential your storage solutions support cleanup. When it comes to cleanup, small parts can create big stress. Since I don't want stress, I have assigned special rules that go with my small parts materials. Because the children find meaning in their engagement with these materials, they accept the special rules that go along with them. Use drawers and not open-topped bins for small materials. This keeps the small pieces contained and not toppling over and onto the floor. I have also placed these items, including puzzles, which fall into this category, in a corner tucked away from the play spaces that require more floor space and body movement. Have a work surface nearby to place the small pieces on is essential. I call my small piece materials table games. These are the essential rules that go with these materials. The child must use the table and use a tray and only use one game at a time. This makes cleanup swift and easy. And this is what it looks like. Keeping these minute, small pieces organized is a breeze, and so is putting them back when the child is finished. Another cleanup strategy that supports play is to opt to save projects and creations by not putting them away. This can easily be done in play spaces that are not needed for other activities, such as meal service, big body movement, or nap time. This activity started small, and as new children came to explore with these materials, they asked to do it again. I left this table out for the whole week, and the play expanded and progressed. Here's another example. The building area is not used for other activities, so their structures often stay out for 1 or 2 days. This structure started out as only cardboard blocks. Returning to it the following day, these boys creatively added the wooden blocks. Their play ideas evolved, and this is how we support this kind of play by allowing cleanup to be postponed when possible. Developing these cleanup practices has made all the daily cleanup sessions in my program quick and stress-free. Seriously, a play session like this takes less than 10 minutes to put away. And because I know it will be quick and stress-free, I'm at ease seeing this play residue on the floor throughout my day as the children continue to engage in and expand their play. Remember the 2 boys in my opening video? I'd like to share with you how cleanup transpired from that play session. It was at the end of the day, and I was working alongside of them, creating subgroups of materials, when Wyatt says, "It goes faster when you help." What a deep reflection. And then Gabriel says, "Hey, Miss Tammy, leave. Then you can come back and check on our work." Another deep reflection. Look at those faces. My heart is so full of joy to see this. They are so proud in what they've accomplished. This is the magic that will happen in your program when you transform your cleanup time using the principles of play. Our goal is not to teach children the responsibility of cleaning up, but to help them discover that meaning and joy can be found in anything that needs to be done.